Today we're going to talk about emotional response, and emotions are what drive us as human beings. And you quite often see this when you are happy, you're excited, you're ecstatic, then you are really, really pushing yourself forward to go out there and do more. However, when we're sad and depressed, angry, frustrated, we generally seem to sit within that emotion and we just can't focus on anything else. Learning to control this allows us to create that balance within our life. And the beautiful thing about having the balance is that we then ease the stress around us. We cause so much chaos in our life because we are focused on our emotions and the negative side of our emotions that we quite often blow things out of proportion. I myself am a fibromyalgia sufferer, and over the last 18 months, learning to control my emotional response has not only helped me to reduce the stress in my life, but because I have reduced the stress in my life, I have also reduced the amount of pain that my body is consuming because of the stress. Perhaps you remember a time when you may have reacted to a situation and then felt extremely guilty afterwards. I know I have. And how many times have you read that text message and not realized that you're reading it in the mood that you are in? And because you are reading it in the mood that you are in, we quite often respond quite quickly. And then later on, we sit there and then we may have chilled out a little bit and we've come away from that frustration, or we've reduced the anger and we've allowed ourselves to relax a little bit more. And we go back to that message and reread it and think, oh no, why did I say that? Now, the thing is, we need to really take a check of what is going on within our mind. And quite often, we spend so much time focusing on how we are looking after our body, our health, what we are doing, on the outside, that we're really, really not spending enough time on creating the impact on the inside. So today I would like to share with you just three simple tips that are going to help you to move forward with your emotional response. So tip number one, what mindset are you in? So when we are going through our daily activities and we get that information through, quite often, because of the mindset that we are in, we attach a personal feeling to it. And when we attach that personal feeling, that's because we've now given it a meaning. Okay, we've given this particular circumstance a meaning. And because we've given it a meaning, it then generally relates to us having a feeling. The feeling might be overrated, and then we respond with the behavior. What we need to do is check our mindset, and this is quite often the case. So obviously when somebody tells us something, do we take a step back? Do we listen to what they are saying? Or are we racing within our mind to try and answer their question before we even know what it's all about? When you get that text message or that email that comes through on your computer, are you rushed, busy, tired, overwhelmed? What state are you in when you read that email? Because all of this is going to have a massive contribution to how you react to the circumstance. Step number two, we're going to talk about what are your triggers. And when we learn our triggers, we are then able to really take hold and recognize and be aware of the environment that we are in. And I just want to share a little story with you, if I may. I used to have a relationship with money that wasn't a great relationship. I was kind of like living in that poverty mindset and scarcity mindset where, I just needed to have the money, and I was always skint, and I was always like thinking, oh my God, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for that? I came away from that mindset. And over the last few weeks, I had a call. And the call was about money. And straight away, the person on the other side of the phone the way he was talking and upholding the conversation, it made me feel like I was back in that money mindset all them years ago. Now, I had an option. I could end the call quite quickly and, you know, not let the trigger get to me. So therefore, I'm not going to react on it. Or I could have carried on with the conversation and got to a point where I was triggered with it. And because I was triggered, my reaction wouldn't have been the reaction that I wanted to give. So I literally thought for a minute, and I thought, no, I'm not going to be triggered by this situation. So I'm going to remove myself from the situation. And that's what I did. And I was able to squash the trigger down. I was able to walk away from having that emotional stress that was really, really nearly on the verge of affecting my life. When we learn what our triggers are, we can then spot the behavior. And when we write down things and we notice a pattern, we can then tweak that pattern and we can change that behavior. We can take the meaning away. We can change the meaning, which effectively is going to change the feeling. And then step number 3, okay, is all about how you are going to put this energy towards the information that you have just received. So often, so many people spend the time consumed within that emotion. You have the power, guys. You have the power to be able to say, no, this is not a fight that I need to fight. This is not something that I'm going to allow to consume the rest of my day. And I just want to offer another little story in that respect. So there was Mary, and Mary, again, had a very poor relationship with money. And one day Mary woke up and she noticed that her bank account had been hacked. And straight away, she could feel the tension and the stress running all the way through her body. What do I do? Oh my God, how am I going to cope with this? So what Mary did was she rang a friend. And straight away on the friend, she was having this chat on the phone with a friend, and she was letting it all out, how she'd been hacked, and she was really annoyed, and she's so angry. Now she's got no money. She's not sure what she's going to do. But Mary didn't stop there. She went away, and then she spoke to her mother, and then she spoke to another friend. And before you knew it, 3 hours had gone, and all Mary had done was ring up all these different people and have these negative conversations with them. Until she rang one friend, and that one friend said to her, Mary, take a deep breath. You need to ring the bank. Now, once Mary had rang the bank, her emotions came right back down again. And she was a little bit calmer. And the reason why she was calmer was because the bank assured her that it's okay, Mary. Yeah, you're going to get all of your money back. Every last penny of it. Everything is coming back to you. So in that respect, Mary then started to feel a little bit better. She started to really ease that feeling and that tension that was going on inside. When she rang and spoke to her friend again to thank her, her friend then said to her, listen, Mary, I will offer you some money, okay? Pay me back when the money comes back through. And that's what happened. And then Mary, even though she'd had this circumstance, she carried on with her day. Now, the difference is, guys, Mary spent 3 hours consumed within this energy. And it allowed her to lose focus on what it was she actually needed to do. It was only until she'd spoke to a friend that her friend then recommended that she would go away and ring the bank. Mary could have saved 3 hours of pain and anger had she had full control over that emotional response. If she'd have rang the bank in the first place, she would have realized that everything would be okay. And yes, okay, it wasn't a nice situation to wake up and realize that your bank account had been hacked. but there was a solution to the problem that she was having. So when we look at our emotions, we've got to understand, what is it that really triggers you? What areas do you need to work on? And the other thing is as well, is that if we really take hold of that, we are not letting our emotions be in the driving seat of our life. Isn't it about time that we took over that wheel, that we started to be the driver of our own life? And we go out there and we have a nice, calm, happy, relaxed atmosphere around us. So just to recap, 3 little steps, okay? The first step is, what mindset are you in? Think about the mindset, the physiology, the state that you are in when you receive that information. The second step, think about your triggers. What is it that triggers you? And the third step, is this something that you are going to allow to consume you? Are you going to spend your energy on this? Or is this something that you can just let go and carry on with what it is that you're doing for the rest of today?